What's going on, Duck fans? Welcome into a preview of Oregon football in 2023. Today we're diving into the offensive roster by reviewing film of players to see what kind of talent and potential we have going into this season. So what were some things we learned last year? Well, in his first season as head coach, Dan Lanning chalked up some big wins on and off the field, and we also learned he likes to throw the dice a little bit, like this gem from the UCLA game in the second quarter.
Oregon, an onside kick, and brilliantly punched forward.
Not only is it fun to watch, but it's sound football if you've prepared and waited for the right look. But there are some critiques out there, and some of it's fair. But you know who I want on our sideline? This guy. Ever notice how it sounds like he lost his voice? Might be because of some of this. That's the kind of fire you want to see. Not to mention offensive firepower, which was certainly not lacking a season ago, but what does this offense look like without Kenny Dillingham? Well, it would seem new offensive coordinator Will Stein is cut from the same cloth. What we know so far is he likes a pro-style offense that is multiple. Sound familiar? Dilly did so well at being multiple that he's off to coach up his alma mater, Arizona State. We're not expecting a massive shift in philosophy and play calling with this hire. At UTSA, Stein helped bring them to inside the top 10% in most offensive categories. Other movement going on into this year has been the portal, and now that the dust has settled a little bit, here's a quick look at who's gone and who's coming in. Keep in mind though, while today we're talking offense, we'll take just a minute to look at the totality of this roster overhaul, which I do hesitate to call it that. When you look at the numbers, which we will, it's hard to call it anything but. Headlining the portal inbounds are defensive end Jordan Burch from South Carolina. Seeing him line up with Dorless is going to be awesome. And making up ground for that massive O-line departure to the NFL, you've got Junior Angelau and Injani Cornelius, the number 18 overall player in the 247 portal rankings when he committed. From the prep level, the talent just keeps rolling in. Just another feather in Dan's cap, securing a top 10 composite and recruiting class in his first full year, of which wide receiver Jurion Dickey sits atop the class, listed as the number 2 receiver in the whole country. So what are we looking at here? Well, Outbounds tally at about 48, with 33 guys departing to the portal. Inbounds are at 45, which means over half of the scholarships for this team will belong to new players this fall. How are we feeling about that, Dan? Bo is back. Let's just compare his first year at Oregon with his best year at Auburn in 2019, which was also his only year to play 13 games. We're talking a 14% improvement on completions at 72% total, over 1,000 yards more through the year, 41% better, and he threw nearly twice as many touchdowns at 29, up 80%. He ran for 200 yards more, 63% better, averaged 2.5 yards more per carry, an almost 80% improvement, and scored twice as many rushing touchdowns. Here's his first in an Oregon jersey against BYU in Week 3.
It's a run, it's Nix keeping his feet for the score!
We're going to mainly focus on his ground attack here, since we'll see him sling it during the wide receiver and running back sections, but his mobility was a critical component of the offensive production last year.
And there was no sliding. And this is putting my body in harm's way, knowing you're going to take that sandwich shot.
Left side into Stanford territory, has running room. Nix rolls right, pumps, darts towards the end zone. He's got it! Pump fake, takes off, into the clear, Bo Nix, there he goes, he won't be caught, he's done it again!
be interesting to see how Stein utilizes Nix. Coming off an ankle injury late in the season against the Huskies, which unfortunately we'll look at in a bit, you have to think Bo won't be on as many designed runs. But we may still see him tuck the ball and run on an RPO. According to Bo, as reported by James Crepey of the Oregonian, he will retain on-field control of the offense, which, given what we know about his competitive nature, I'm guessing not a lot will change, especially given how central his run game was to the team's success. But you gotta protect your quarterback too. So, we will see.
Well, why not? The biggest third down of the game to try to close this thing out. Latu in his lap. Steps up, doesn't panic, goes right where the down marker is.
Irving with a throwback for Nix, and Bo Nix waltzes in. Feeling the pressure again. He got away from Martin, turns it upfield, and a first down.
Alright, so up to this point, Bo's chopping wood and carrying water. And since that game in week 1, which we won't speak of or see any clips from, for obvious reasons, Oregon had pretty well dominated the pack. 7 convincing wins and 1 dicey day in Pullman. But by now, Bo is playing his best ball. And here, after Oregon ran the ball down UW's throat for 10 straight minutes, this happens. So of course at the time, we're thinking, okay, not a great result on 3rd and 5 in the red zone, but we know Dan's going for it. Gotta make this a 2-possession game. But right about here, it becomes clear that going for it might not even be an option. Alright, so I know there are people out there saying this was a dirty shot. That is not my take. To me, it looks like a football play. Which is ironic since DB Alex Cook had whiffed numerous times previous to this play. But it is what it is. And with targeting being what it is, if a ball carrier goes low, the defender has to go low too. But enough on that. Bo is hurt, and he's staring down at a bum ankle. And it's the same ankle he had surgery on almost a year prior.
It's been a tough injury, and it's unclear whether he'll be able to go tonight. Now, we were told it was a game-time decision, and he's been warming up tonight, and he wasn't moving great, so there's a lot of concern that even if he lines up and takes the opening snap or so, I'm not sure he can move well enough to really be effective in this game.
And he will fake it and then throw it to the end zone. Caught, touchdown!
I mean, this throw is phenomenal. And he's going to his left, and he couldn't even use his right leg, his right ankle. And he flipped that out there on his left leg.
So say what you will about losing to UW and the Beavs. Mind you, by 7 points combined, these boys went out the following week and beat the team that housed them twice the previous year, with a QB that was playing at what appeared to be less than half speed.
A fake pitch. There goes Nix, dives forward. That's an Oregon first down. And how fitting. His first run of the game puts it away for the Ducks, who are going to come up with a tremendous win. And what an effort for Bo Nix.
Pretty incredible. not to mention securing the Holiday Bowl trophy with this familiar throw.
4th down and 2. Bo Nix. Does he have some magic in him? Nix drops back. Underneath. Touchdown, Ducks! Wow! And we're level at 27. What a pass.
Great route from Coda, and now the ever important extra point. Oh! Off the upright and good! Unreal!
Well, sure could have done without that, but it's in, and so is Bo in 2023. Alright, time to talk about Ty for a bit. Now, anybody that tuned in last year or follows me elsewhere knows that I'm a big Ty Thompson fan. More specifically, I'm a fan of developing these kids, even if that development puts your team at risk of losing some games. But that is not how it works in college football anymore, especially at a program like Oregon where you have such high aspirations every year. But that's a conversation for a different day. What's important to know about Ty is that he clearly has talent, as we've seen glimpses of, like here, late in the game against Eastern Washington. Now, to be fair, there have been some not great throws and even interceptions in the limited time he's seen, but I think that's more a product of not getting much in the way of live game reps. Experience breeds success, and for Ty to improve, he needs reps.
Stanford 30 now. That ball looked like it was tipped. That's going to be intercepted.
And most of all, he needs quality reps. Unlike this boneheaded play call by Dilly in the third quarter against Utah.
Utah scoops it up, and they'll score!
This was just abysmal, but I don't think you can blame Ty for it. Fortunately, he delivered some real nice throws and scored a couple touchdowns during the spring game, but it was only after he settled in and really began to work through his progressions, which it seems it's something he still needs to work on, but again, that comes with experience. Here's what he had to say on the Mental Sweat podcast with former teammate Ryan Walk. If you haven't checked them out yet, I highly encourage you to.
I know a lot of guys in your shoes would have hit the portal, got out of there, went to look for a different spot. What's your mentality on sticking it out, continuing to develop? Like, how do you see that? Because I know a lot of guys in your shoes would have been gone maybe even 2 years ago. Like, they wouldn't have even lasted 1 year through what you've gone through. So talk about, how you view that.
I've built a very good bond and laid some very strong roots here in Oregon. I feel like I've poured into this program for 2.5 years now. I mean, I've given everything to this program, and to just up and leave because something didn't go my way or because there might be a different opportunity somewhere. I mean, I feel like that would be extremely selfish. But I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like whether I play a whole lot this year or I don't, I think I have a great opportunity in the next coming years to do what I do here at Oregon.
Presumably, QB3 is freshman Austin Novosad, who we saw flip from Baylor in December after Will Stein came on board. He saw some time during the spring game and seems to be more of a pocket passer, also was noticeably light. But Wilson Love and the strength and conditioning staff will get him up to speed, and wait, real soon. On to the running backs. Bucky Irving was a late addition via the portal from Minnesota last year that most Oregon fans hadn't heard of. But by the end of the season, most people in the country had. Pro Football Focus graded him as the number 3 running back in college football for 2022. But to see his numbers is only telling a small part of the story. So let's just let Bucky tell it.
Boy, they didn't wrap up, and Irving breaks it down inside the 5. It back and slips through a tackle, slips through a second, still on his feet across the 30-yard line. It's going to take a lot more than what Stanford is bringing right now to haul him down. They just cannot bring him down. So they'll run it with Irving, and Irving's going, and Irving's home. Touchdown, Oregon.
Lucky Irving, upright and trucking through Huskies across the 40-yard line.
That's missed tackle number 10, missed tackle number 11, and at some point they're not missed tackles. They're forced broken tackles by the strength of Irving.
They run behind that line yet again, and Washington again cannot tackle Bucky Irving right in the hole, and it's first down. Now he's going to throw, and it is caught! Wow, what a catch! I didn't think Irving could even see the ball.
Irving breaks it back with room, bounces it outside, he's got a burst. Bucky Irving down the sideline. Touchdown, Oregon.
Noah Whittington was another portal add last year. In the first few games, we saw a four-back rotation between Irving, Whittington, freshman Jordan James, and eventual portal departure Byron Cardwell. But by the conference opener against Washington State, Noah had worked his way into being a 1-2 punch with Bucky, with his lunch pail work ethic and pound-for-pound strength and speed.
Here they go. Whittington has it and then some. Hopping into the secondary, and Hanneman for a first down.
Here goes Whittington again. Whittington inside the 5. Legs continue to churn to the 2.
Whittington on the carry. Nice cutback. 2 of them, and he may be gone. Foot race. And Whittington wins. Touchdown, Ducks.
Look out! Noah Whittington touchdown!
Whittington, left side. Noah Whittington goes banging into the end zone for a touchdown.
Man, did he lower the shoulder and deliver the boom.
It's another run. It's Whittington. Pinballing outside. Touchdown. Play clock winding down again. They get it snapped. Whittington with the carry straight ahead. Burst through a hole inside the 10. Another run of more than 10. First and goal, Ducks. Now Whittington, touchdown Oregon.
Jordan James enters his sophomore year, presumably in the same role as last year as the ground and pound short yardage guy, which is pretty remarkable given how often Lanning trusted him on 3rd and 4th down, sometimes on the Oregon side of the field, as a true freshman.
Also maybe try to draw him off sides as well.
A lot of pondering in that crowd that's been very loud. They run a play, 4th down, James! Wow.
However, he was often the back in the 14 personnel package or the 14J package, Josh package, big boy package, whatever you prefer. So hard to know if we'll see much, if any, of that formation given how different the tight end room looks.
Josh Connerly is in as well. They like to add him on jumbo package plays, and it is James for a 1st down. James broke a tackle, 1st down, Oregon.
So how James is utilized, or what the scheme from Will Stein will be, it'll be interesting to see if they can continue to maximize all the talent from these 3 backs.
And this freshman's got some bounce, doesn't he?
A touchdown for Jordan James.
Jordan James has checked in, the freshman who's been so good in short yardage for the Ducks, and it is him twirling for a 1st down. Out of the eye, it's a touchdown for James.
After the long return, handoff straight ahead. Touchdown Oregon, Jordan James.
Highly coveted 4-star recruit Dante Dowdell out of Mississippi joins the Ducks this year, most likely as a redshirt given the talent ahead of him. But don't be mistaken, he looks about as ready as you could ask from a true freshman, as you can see here, dragging 5 defenders downfield during the spring game. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him in some games, or even the end zone, this year. On to the tight ends. And as I alluded to, this room is a little different this year. Not a real concern, but you can't deny losing Cam McCormick and Maliki Mataval hurts in the depth and size department. And to be fair, that could have been one of the best tight end lineups that Oregon has ever had. But the leading scorer, and certainly not lacking in the size department, T-Ferg is back.
Fake and go to the
zone. Touchdown, Ferguson.
I know tight ends can slip through and go unnoticed, but I don't know how anyone can miss a dude this big downfield. But they do, and this is the result.
Now Nix trying to move. He did move and throws on the move and completes it. Wow, what a play. Terrence Ferguson, the tight end, with the catch. Excellent execution from the Ducks. Play fake. Nix in the pocket throws. He's got his tight end wide open. That's Ferguson down the sideline. Into Beavers territory. Leaps over a would-be tackler.
Another first down. Ferguson, the tight end. He keeps moving on his feet. Look at the big fella. Finally dropped at the 35 after a gain of 28.
Another nod to Kenny Dillingham here, but he really did seem to incorporate as much of the talent on the roster into his playbook as possible. And Patrick is another example of that. I mean, Justin has said of his little brother, he's more athletic between the two of them. So you can't not have him on the field. And why not put him at fullback?
It's play action, and it is a laser to the sideline for the tight end of Herbert.
It was a little strange to see a 6'5" dude at fullback, but it worked. But again, with the tight end room looking not as stacked as it was a season ago, that likely means you see Patrick playing a more traditional tight end role.
He's got his tight end, Patrick Herbert, in the plus territory.
From Mallard High School and long overdue transfer to the Ducks because of it, Casey Kelly will help augment this group. During his 4 years at Ole Miss, he played in 35 games, caught 28 passes for 282 yards and 3 touchdowns. Here's a brief look at some of that.
Play fake, throw, touchdown, Ole Miss. Casey Kelly, the tight end.
Four-star recruit and new freshman Kenyon Sadiq is a welcome addition to the room. Touted as the top player from the state of Idaho and a top 80 player in the 23 class. He's got size and some speed for a big dude, and I think there's a pretty good chance we'll see number 18 take the field this year. So if a ball drops in the woods, was Troy Franklin there? No, he wasn't. Because this guy refuses to let anything thrown in his vicinity hit the turf, which is why he's already been generating buzz for the NFL draft next year. Pro Football Focus has him as the number 7 draft eligible receiver in the country, and we'll see why in these next clips.
And the inside pass, and that is going to get in the end zone. Troy Franklin. Nix to throw with time, wants to launch. He does, middle of the field. Oh, Troy Franklin. Unreal around Robinson.
How about that catch? 55 yards down the field. DB a little bit early. Robinson, the corner, trying is all he can to knock that ball away, but the strong hands of Franklin even as he hits the ground full speed to corral it.
It's Franklin. Troy Franklin will take it to the house. Touchdown, Ducks. 50 yards.
To his right. Rolling, throwing, and it is incomplete.
After reviewing the play, ruling is a touchdown.
Okay, you can see Troy has some words for his old teammate, Jalen Davies here. Some good old-fashioned ribbing. But what you don't want is to erase the play with a penalty. So Lanning has words for Troy. And right away, Troy owns it. Just like he owned Davies on the previous play.
That's interference. Number 24, defense. That penalty is declined.
While being interfered. But talent only goes so far, right? You gotta be coachable. And it was great to see that from Dan and Troy.
Throws the slant, caught. Franklin, touchdown.
Here's Bo Nix, guns it. Touchdown, Oregon. Troy Franklin.
Chris Hudson is your Swiss Army knife, but primary slot receiver. Mainly catching balls in the backfield or flat because he's shifty and can get plenty of yards post-contact. We saw him on punt return too for this reason. But he can be a deep threat too. The problem is, he didn't get into the end zone last year. Came close a couple of times, but no points for Chris in 22. So can we please see him hit pay dirt this year?
Here it is, throwing off play action. Deep shot, and that's caught inside the 5. It'll be down short of the goal line.
Hudson hangs on for a first down.
Nix on the move in the corner. Touchdown, Oregon. Chris Hudson.
So you're saying, well, there's a touchdown. Chris did score. Nope. If you remember, they called it back.
There is a flag on the far side.
Ineligible downfield on the forward pass.
Now here's where things become a little more unclear for the receivers, just from a previous year perspective. Because these next 4 guys were either not on the field very much for Oregon, like sophomore Kyler Casper here, or not at Oregon at all. Like Trayshawn Holden from Alabama. Of these 4, I think it's likely we'll see more of Holden.
Bryce fakes to Gibbs, goes to the sideline. Nice catch and move by Holden towards the end zone. Touchdown.
Bryce Young, quick throw out, wide receiver screen. Trey Holden, touchdown, Alabama.
Tez Johnson, adopted brother to Bo Nix, transfers in from Troy. He's a small speedster who will likely take reps behind Chris Hudson in the slot.
And there's the breakaway speed. Tez Johnson getting to the corner. Tez Johnson gonna sidestep and hurdle a man and a touchdown.
Late ad, but filling the receiver cabinet to its seams is Gary Bryant Jr. from USC. He's an intriguing ad given how he was evidently pushed out of the Trojans by Lincoln Riley's additions last year. Only saw 2 catches in 22, but was their 3rd best receiver as a redshirt freshman the year prior in 21. On the home stretch. Hope you had some popcorn, maybe a Big Jack's burger from the Elkhorn Brewery. I know JPJ here would have appreciated it, and we appreciate that he was mentored by Alex Forsythe and will be this year's starting center. Big Mark played all 13 games last year, started in 10 with a total of 711 snaps. He grades real well in the conference as 6th best guard overall by PFF, but grades even better in personality and style. Stephen Jones battled through a foot injury in week 2, but returned later in the year against Utah and finished out the season with 259 snaps. A seasoned veteran, he enters his last year of eligibility looking to finish strong with the Ducks. Junior Angelau is a senior, not a junior. Well, he is a junior, but really he's a 6th-year senior. But you know what? It doesn't matter. What does matter is he bolsters the guard position. Transferring in from Texas, he missed last season due to injury, but is a solid, naturally talented lineman. Highest rated O-lineman commit ever for the Ducks last year, now sophomore Josh Connerly stands to earn real respect and potentially future dollars as the coveted left tackle. But at only 118 offensive snaps last year, he will have big shoes to fill. Like I mentioned at the start, and Johnny Cornelius was a big get for Oregon. He was the highest rated lineman in all of FCS football by PFF playing at the University of Rhode Island. And it seems we can thank Marcus Harper for helping bring him on board. Feopi Lalo Alu, and I apologize Feopi on that one, is a relatively low-time lineman, seeing most snaps as a guard. But I have him at tackle here just to round out the depth chart a little bit, which is exactly what could happen given how this room is shaping up. But as we know, all of these guys will need to be versatile. You can't help to look to the O-line for this team's success and really contributing to Bo's success last year. And so it's fair to wonder how this group will perform. But from what I know and have seen this offseason, I feel pretty confident that you're still looking at one of the best O-lines in the Pac-12.
Nix throws it left side and it's caught for the touchdown. Josh Connerly, the tackle, makes the grab on his birthday.
Well, we just went through each offensive room. Given the performance and overall continuity that we're seeing here, I'm excited to see how they all come together to put points on the board. And I know you are too, because you wouldn't have made it this far along in the video. If you want more coverage on all things Oregon football, I highly encourage you to check out the guys who produce great Oregon football content, which of course I'll link in the comments, but beat writers and podcasters like the guys from the Mental Sweat podcast, Zach Neal at Duckswire, Tyson Alger at the I-5 Corridor, Max Torres, Spencer McLaughlin, and the boys over at Duck Territory. And you can find me, and really a lot of these guys, hanging out with Ryan Winter at Sports Chat 503. And for that deep dive and always great videos, gotta check out Addicted to Quack. Man, there is so much great stuff out there for us Duck fans. It almost makes you want to shout.
Left. Oregon trying to take down unbeaten UCLA, and after that production, Dorian Thompson-Robinson to the steering wheel for the Bruins on 3rd and 8. Wide, incomplete for Brown.
All right, guys and gals, thanks so much for hanging out for nearly an hour. I really appreciate it. Have a great year, and go Ducks.